is the general commitment is take one, because we know you can, lose 10.
Yes.
Take 10, lose 20, plus that 2, and let it accelerate like that. So this is why you see a lot of things, or a lot of truths being told now by Europeans that years ago they would not even touch. They wouldn't get near admitting any of this.
Racism is not a driving factor in income inequality.
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't, you know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
Anybody can jump in. It's an open mic there.
But there has to be racism. You can't say there's no racism.
Without evidence?
No. I'm just saying that I don't know which animal. Maybe we're talking about dogs or something. I'm talking about human beings, and I'm like, human beings are most likely going to have racial prejudices. I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I don't know. I come from planet Earth.
Charles, I want to ask you a question. So your default is that when there is no evidence, racism is the deciding factor. That is
No, I was not saying that. I'm just saying that you're going to have sexists, you're going to have racists, you're going to have all this stuff. I'm just saying that. I
agree it exists, but the problem that I'm seeing, and this is the problem with the general conversation, is that there's no solution in simply saying there's racism out there. How does that solve anything? When you talk about there's institutional racism, what does that mean? Show me a law that is racist in intent, and we will agree. Show me a police officer who commits a racist act like we saw in South Carolina, right, where a police officer shot a black man running away and it was obviously unjustified, and I will agree. But you need, the idea that you can craft a narrative based on no racism because it just must be somewhere out there in the ether, that doesn't solve problems for anybody and creates more problems for people because now they grow up in a milieu and an environment where they are told that every obstacle they face is from some shadowy, nameless, faceless group who is out to get them simply because of the color of their skin. They'll never succeed. Somewhere out there in the ether, that doesn't solve problems for anybody and creates more problems for people because now they grow up in a milieu and an environment where they are told that every obstacle they face is from some shadowy, nameless, faceless group who is out to get them simply because of the color of their skin. They'll never succeed.
I'm doing really well, Mason. Now, I want to get your take on my whole experience yesterday. I went to the show. I thought I was going to be talking about the debates. But the panel members, the other panel members that were on with me, they really took offense, frankly, to my pointing out that I didn't understand why Black Lives Matter needed, first of all, to be brought up by the candidates, because that seemed to me like something that should have been asked by CNN, the moderators. But secondly, there was a black man and a Cuban guy and a Hispanic guy all standing there on that stage. And I think if they wanted to talk about race and those kinds of identity politics, then, or as you put it, tribalism, then I think that it kind of went without saying that they didn't need to talk about it because they were all very well represented within the population of the GOP candidates. What say you?
Doctor, you got ambushed by folks with an agenda. The Black Lives Matter organization does not matter. That's why no one brought them up. They are a tribalistic group of people who believe that black people are inferior by their own actions and own statements. They believe black folks are inferior and need white people to care. They're saying that unless you heard the guy, unless you do something for the African-American male. Are you kidding me? I am an African-American male. You, Dr. Gina, cannot and should not do anything for me. I am not helpless. I'm not a child. I'm not a pet of white America. But these liberals, by their very basic fact, the liberals are a group of people who believe in white superiority, but they're nice, superior white people. They want to take care of their poor Negroes. They believe unless they have a program for me, I can't feed myself, I can't clothe myself. I need to be taken care of. In order for you to take care of me, you must control me. So you put me in your inner city schools, and you train me to work for your kids. It is just a racist, self-hating group of black people who believe that white folks are superior.
So I think you need to, though, explain, though, how it is that they think that white people are superior. I understand your theory, but I got the very distinct feeling that I wasn't allowed to, I really felt like I wasn't allowed to even say the word black. To be honest with you, that's how I felt.
You are arrogant enough to believe that black people can make it on their own. You are arrogant enough to think that black people are equal to white people. You know, I have a great dog. My dog is a wonderful part of my family. She is trained to protect my family. I love her. I feed her. But don't let that dog think for a second it's equal to me. They are self-hating. They believe that every problem black people has. Listen to them. Every problem black people have, they demand white people do something. I have 10, 12-year-old grandkids here. When they're hungry, I have to act. When they're cold, I have to act. When they want something, I have to act. That's what Black Lives Matter and these white liberals think about black people, that every problem requires white people to take care of us.
Well, the conversation completely really changed from there, from talking about the debates, and it became all about how someone like me should not have a right to, I guess, even point out that there were lots of people of lots of different colors on that panel. So I just as a person who's, you know, I mean, I guess I fit in a minority group of women. I may fit in some other minority groups. I honestly, and I even said this to one of them on the break. I said, I like to think of myself as more than a woman. I like to think of myself as more than a sum of my skin color or body parts. Don't they?
They dumped all over you. You cannot think of yourself outside the group. Liberals are the masters of group management. Liberals are saying you're black, therefore, you're a woman, therefore, you're poor, therefore. They manage groups. How dare you sit there and say that you don't need their management? They jumped all over you. Because you're saying there are no black issues, that every issue affects every one of us. There are no women issues. Every issue affects every single one of us. You're saying that we're all here together, we're all suffer together, or we're all prosper together. You are saying that each individual has a right and an ability to take care of themselves. How dare you? They can't let your message go unchallenged. They must ridicule you and talk about you and shout you down because what you're saying works. If it works, they don't work.
But I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to understand this. I think I've spent a really disproportionate amount of my life trying to understand where they're coming from on this, what seems to me to be complete perpetuation of racial division. And
That's what they want. No, stop right there. That's what they want. You think they want the same thing you want. You think they want harmony and peace and prosperity. They want chaos. You're talking to a fungus that needs dark, damp places to grow. They will never, ever promote prosperity. They will lose their job. They will lose their power base.
If I, Mason, said the words you just said, I would be all over national news, and I would probably end up losing my job for that. I just think there's such a bizarre paradigm here.
What do you think people need to know about the construct, the group, Black Lives Matter?
They need to know it really means Black Lives Matter. Because you're believing the lie. The whole power behind Black Lives Matter is their ability to get you to stop dealing in reality and start dealing in guilt. You know in your soul it's garbage. But you can't say it because somebody might not like it, but you know. So I want to know, instead of them talking about Black Lives Matter, what happened to you white folks? What happened to you folks? What happened to the Vikings? Tell me about the Vikings. Where are you? Where are the Roman legionnaires who didn't take that mess? What happens to the Roman knights? I mean, to the English knights? You guys are like cowards. They call your name, you back the heck off. Are you kidding me? So you got a bunch of Black Lives Matter. Think of what they're saying. They're saying that every problem they have requires white folks to do something. What Black Lives Matter really is saying that they believe white folks are superior. They believe white people owe it to themselves to take better care of their animals. They're saying, I can't take care of my problems. You're responsible. They will say it. They will say things like, you better start caring about us more. Are you kidding me? How can you care about me? I'm grown. Why would you? They believe in white superiority. They believe it. They're comfortable in that. So they'll come and demand for white folks, I need a $15 minimum wage. When they should be saying, I need to find out how to get a maximum wage. They go to white folks and say, I need low income housing. Instead of saying, let me figure out how to get high income housing. And so they want better education. Folks, the libraries are free. You can even go and monitor a class in college for free. If knowledge is power, go get it. What you're saying though is a degree is power. A degree is not power. Knowledge is power. So Black Lives Matter. I was called by a gentleman that I support in running for governor. He said, Mason, every time I go out, they're going to put a microphone in my face saying, does Black Lives Matter? I don't know how to respond to that. I said, respond. Look at the camera and say, it doesn't matter if I believe Black Lives Matter. If you believe Black Lives Matter, join me and make Black lives better. Join me and let's build up black income. Join me, let's build up black schools to be right. Join me, let's build a black family together. If you believe Black Lives Matter, act like Black Lives Matter to you. Let's make it better.
Okay.
Denotation, connotation, and learn that rule. Denotation is where the word or definitions that absolutely apply to the word in fact. Connotations are fads or misuses of words, but is generally accepted, but in fact is not what the word means. Not unlike when Mike did the record, the Bad album years ago. Bad in that connotative means good, or slick, smart, tight. But in its denotation, it means negative. Now, so like when most of our people, you'll talk to most of our people, and they'll acknowledge Negro, black, colored, coon, shine, nigga, and don't know that they are all categorized as nom de guerre. But you say nom de guerre, they wouldn't associate because they don't know that that's nom de guerre, because they don't know better. But a scholar immediately knows they're nom de guerre, and it's not even a debate. It's not even an issue with them. It's like saying to somebody, 2 and 2 is 4, and they got to go through some great explanation. It's not an issue. 2 and 2 is 4. Oh, all right, it's 4. No big deal. To us, you ain't got to go through no spiritual definition of 2 and 2 is 4. Black, Negro, color, they're nom de guerre. That means they're pseudonyms that are put on people that have been denationalized. Anybody around the planet knows that. Our people don't know that. So therefore, here we are with this problem. And so now we're approaching people who have been subjugated to this mentality for generations, and it appears that you're either giving them something new or you're countering their beliefs when you're actually restoring something that already belonged to them, and they're the only ones that don't recognize it. So you can understand how the rest of the civilized world has problems with so-called black people, because they don't know how to come at you, because they don't know how you're going to respond. 1 minute you're sensitive, 1 minute you're supportive, you hurt each other with petty stuff, yet evil stuff come to you from European policemen and stuff like that, stomp your babies, you know what I mean, rape your women, and you all march and pray. Brother, look at you wrong, you want to shoot them. They know we have that mentality. Because we're sick, but we don't know that we're sick. Mm-hmm. But anyway, getting back to the point, let's deal with fundamental etymology and show you how simple this stuff is. So now you look at black, right? And you see it's an adjective, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing you do. You always classify it. The classification of part of speech is also called the matrix, which means its mother. Matrix means womb. All right? Then you look for the etymon, and you know that they always push the etymology down the bottom because they don't want you to immediately learn. And so what is black? It is what? What do you see right there? Middle English. Black. Old English, right? Black, right? Now that's derived from Old High German, and black really actually means pale and shiny.